All right, so we have a new install for the Honda Monkey. This is a Kitaco 3-oil cooler. Super cooler, I think. This will focus. Yeah, that's the part number right there. So I do have the MNNTHBX Mtake, which is essentially where this mounts is right here. So I might have to figure out some other kind of bracketry or solution for this, but I wanted to try this and see if it actually works. I can't really do the mount that's on the tappet covers because I have my lowered fender, so I would run into hitting that. So I actually need something up here, getting that airflow as well as clearance. So I don't really have that kind of option. So let me open this up and lay this all out, and then let's see what we're working with. The instruction manual in English, awesome. We have the bracket, which we'll do a little bit of test fitting to make sure that it works. We have the 3-row oil cooler, which I'm leaving in that plastic. It did come with some protection, but I took the protection off just because I wanted to look at it. But that's the 3-row. And then a bunch of hardware. This is for the IAT sensor. And tubing for running lines. So let's see if we can get this bracket on and go from there. Okay, so with the Mtake, the MNNTHBX Mtake, there's the IAT sensor. There's the IAT sensor right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take off this and probably take this off, just the hose clamps. I'm going to take this completely off. I'm going to take this off the hose clamp and remove that, and see what I'm thinking I can do is sandwich it in between there. That's what I'm hoping for. So let's see if there's any room for that. Worst case, what I'm going to need to do is most likely get longer bolts. But it looks like there's enough gap there that I should be fine. That's what I'm hoping for. All right, so this is not gonna work. So essentially, so this is not gonna work. So essentially these holes need to be a little bit up higher. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to chop up this bracket from the MNNTHBX Mtake. I'm going to feed it onto here, and then I might bend one of these so that it lines up with that hole right here. And then what I'll have is this will be right out there. I'm going to do that. I do want it to be like this, so I might have to figure something out with hose orientation and whatnot, just to get this sit a little better. And I might do something along those lines. I already something along those lines, maybe. I can get a full angle once I go get into it like that. I don't want to do that. So let's see what we come up with. Okay, that took a lot of trial and error, but it looks like I figured it out. So what I had to end up doing was taking off the MNNTHBX bracket and rotating it onto the bottom. So wherever the IAT sensor actually installs in, I put a screw in through there and mounted it to, there's actually 3, I believe they're M6 holes up underneath it. I did it to the farthest outside, towards me on this side, and rotated it so that it clears all of the engine head and whatnot. And this is just mocked up. Nothing's Loctited or anything like that. I just kind of wanted to see how it would mount. It should be good enough. So I did have to rotate this around a little bit. So I did have to rotate this around a little bit to get it to work, but it looks like it's gonna mount just fine. I was gonna cut this tab, but I don't like cutting things if I don't have to, so I'm gonna leave that little bracket, that little tab right there that's for the other mounting holes, just in case. I do not want to regret doing that. And the IAT sensor should be able to screw easily up into there. I don't need the extension cable, I shouldn't. Yeah. So it is getting kind of dark, so this might get postponed until tomorrow, so I will see you then. All right, it's morning, so let's get back at this. So where we left off was I got this all mounted up. Looks like it's gonna work just fine. It should still have enough airflow going into the intake. I did have to add this this little extension that comes with the kit for the IF, which I need to clean off a little bit, but it should be able to mount right up in there. I do have to take all this off to be able to install that in there because the holes are not threaded, I believe. Yeah, so I'll mount the IF, tighten these bolts down. There was another one right behind this tube. Yeah, this actually went pretty good. I do need to push this back down. This tube does not like to flex in this certain way, so it's kind of an issue. But I did have to take off the cover for the throttle body, but I'll put that back on whenever I get everything buttoned up. So I'll just be right back. So it does have me using the M5 by 10 millimeter bolts. These ones, they're a little bit too short. So I went with the ones that came with the MNNTHBX one, which I believe are 15 millimeter, maybe 20. But they fit actually through the entire IF sensor. So the ones that came with the Kitaco kit are a little bit too short. So I'm gonna install these. All right, so I have 2 lines right here. I haven't put the end fittings on yet because I'm still kind of playing around with where I want them to go. So what I am gonna do is I'm gonna drain the oil real quick. That way I can take these off and not have oil going all over the place while I'm trying to figure this out. But yeah, it looks pretty good. I have everything's Loctited. It's very sturdy. Air filter shouldn't move from there. IAT sensor is up there. So yeah, let me drain this oil real quick, and then I'll see what I'm gonna do with the lines. I'll be right back. All right, so just a note for those of you that have the Super Trap exhaust or exhaust that routes this sort of way, you're gonna run into kind of an issue with it touching. I did I might be replacing my exhaust soon, so what I did is I marked it up to the spark plug wire. I marked it up to the spark plug wire, and that way it's off of the exhaust. Just even a little bit is better than nothing. Yeah, still has a little gap in it. All I gotta do now is put the crush washers into the oil cooler, fill up the oil cooler a little bit, fill up the engine oil, and then should be good. Should be good to go. Then we'll be able to start it up and see what we're at. I do have a racer, I believe, in this bike, so I can check the temperature and whatnot through that. But yeah, it actually went together really smoothly. I do need to check on turn radius. I don't think this has any potential of actually hitting here, but that is something we'll have to look at when we get this out of the chalk. Should be fine though. worst case, what I would have to do is take this bracket, bend it out, and then crank it again. So kind of just shift this up a little bit and then put it behind it just a little bit. But I need to have a little bit of gap right here. I wasn't able to actually put it behind this bracket, which is the original design for it, simply because I have the air intake right there. Yeah, let's keep her moving and see where we go. Okay, that was a tad bit of a pain. I actually had one of the ports strip out right here, which maybe I'll throw a picture up in this. But luckily I had a little bit longer banjo bolt. This is a banjo bolt from a brake line. I recently replaced my brake lines anyways on the Monkeys, so I had a few extras lying around. So I replaced that. Yeah, this just got absolutely destroyed, and I did start it. I actually torqued it down under what the spec calls for. Just stripped the whole thing out. I got really loose, and I hate when that feeling happens because it means the bolt's stripped or the nut is stripped, which I've messaged Steady Garage back. Hopefully they get back to me and I'm able to replace this. I really just need the oil cooler. I can take all this off and then just fix the fittings and everything like that to it. I don't need a whole kit. So hopefully they have one just laying around. That would be fantastic. Doubt they do, but who knows. So I did put a little bit of oil in here, as much as I can kind of gather. It calls for 100 cc's, I believe, in the instructions. So I filled it up a little bit, not overflowing or anything like that, but just so I could see it. And then I have refreshed my oil, replaced all the drain plug with crush washer and everything. So yeah, let's just turn it on and hopefully nothing goes bad. So, all right, here we go. Vibration noise that I kind of want to figure out where it's coming from. Yeah, that's what I figured. There's going to be some oil leakage. This side's good. Yeah, no oil leaking from here either. Yeah, it's just going to be this side, which is what I figured would happen. Alright. Yeah, so hopefully I get a replacement in soon. Probably won't post this video until I do. So, alright, till next time.